You can consider me your hostess for this evening. I want you to imagine you've just joined this awesome virtual event. You're not really sure what to expect, and you are someone who loves to travel and see new places. Plus, you like to be active while you do this exploring. You're looking for an experience that's unique and authentic because when you travel, you want to feel like a friend visiting a new place instead of like a tourist. And maybe you're not really sure where to start. You want to learn more about trek travel, hiking, and walking tours. You are in the right place. We are so excited to have you here with us tonight. I invite you to kick your feet up and grab a cold beverage because the next 45 minutes or so are part trip planning and part happy hour. And we are thrilled, and I mean beyond thrilled, to tell you about our brand new trips coming up in 2024. Okay, but before I get started, I want to introduce you to a few friends. It takes a team of people to create amazing trips for you, and it takes a team of people to tell you about those trips as well. Which is why I am not on my own tonight. We've got a great team on this event with us. Joining me is veteran guide Jonathan Hirschberger, also known as Hershey, and you'll meet him a bit later. He's going to tell you about all of our amazing trips coming up this fall. Plus, we're lucky enough to have none other than our director of trip design, Megan, joining the event, and several awesome trip consultants ready and poised to answer any questions that you might have about our trips. Okay, so before we dive in, here's a quick set of Zoom pro tips so that you know how to participate tonight. On your menu bar, when you move your mouse around, a little menu bar pops up. And on this bar, you'll find a button labeled CC in the event that you would like to enable closed captioning for tonight's event. There's also a microphone button and a video button. And also on that menu bar, you'll find a chat button, which is where you can answer some trivia questions tonight. That's also where you can put any questions you might have as we go along. So at this point, could I please go ahead and ask everyone to turn off their microphones? So to mute their microphones and turn off their videos, because here we go. All right, so one more thing, and a very, very exciting thing before we dive in tonight. From now through June 1st, you can get a sweet discount on a trek travel trip. Use code EXPLORE250 to get this super awesome deal when you book your first hiking and walking trip or your first cycling trip with Trek Travel. Just mention this code to your trip consultant or enter it in your booking if you book your trip online. And we'll also email this coupon code to you in the next couple of days so that you've also got it in your inbox. So Trek Travel has traditionally guided you along roads on cycling vacations. And this evening, we are veering off the beaten track. Tonight, we invite you to lace up your walking boots as we venture onto a path less traveled. On a Trek Travel trip, we begin each day with a route talk so that you know where you're going and what to expect. Right here is your route talk for our event this evening. We're going to go ahead and start off with who is Trek Travel, talk about our secret sauce, climb up to our trip spotlights for the evening, and then finally descend down to talk about details about how to book a trip, and then finish off, wrap up with some Q&A where you can ask us anything. All right. So who's ready to get started? Who's excited to learn about hiking and walking and all things trek travel? Let's rock. First, we want to tell you about Trek Travel and what we do. At Trek Travel, we believe in taking you on vacations that move you, both literally and figuratively. Trek Travel curates active vacations all over the world, and we are always scouting new places to take you. And it's been 22 years of fun. We have been in this business for 22 awesome years. And over these last 22 years, we have won some really exciting awards. We take real pride in being voted one of the top vacation companies in the world by our guests and our partners, including being voted number 5 by Travel and Leisure for 2023 World's Best Tour Operators. This is our highest finish ever, and we are incredibly proud of this award. We won those awards because for the last 22 years, we have hosted memorable and extraordinary cycling vacations of a lifetime. And we will continue to host you on amazing cycling trips all over the world and new destinations, new and exciting destinations each year as well. Cycling vacations made us great, and bikes made us famous. And in 2024, we are thrilled to offer you a new way to see the world with Trek Travel. Tonight, we are introducing our brand new lineup of hiking and walking tours, and we invite you to come with us into a new era with Trek Travel. We're taking all of the things that make us great and using those talents to host you on 2 feet instead of on 2 wheels. So what are the things that set us apart? And what are the things that mean you'll have an unforgettable experience with Trek Travel? I'm so glad you asked that question. I do have an answer. 3 answers, in fact. First off is, of course, our exceptional guides. If we've got folks joining us tonight who have been on a Trek Travel trip before, you are nodding your heads because you get how amazing our team is. Our guests consistently rate our guides an average of 4.9 out of 5 stars. 4.9 out of 5. That is amazing. From the moment that you meet our guides each morning to the moment when you say goodnight after a fun-filled day, they are trained to provide the support you need to make sure that you feel comfortable on your trip. They handle everything and more so that you don't miss a single moment of the fun. Next, unmatched hospitality. Exceeding your expectations is in our DNA, and we believe there is no such thing as a crazy request. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday, maybe you would love to find an out-of-the-way restaurant. Our team is trained to deliver wow moments that are guaranteed to surprise and delight you. And finally, the last thing that we do impeccably and are going to bring with us as we venture into this hiking and walking world, expert trip design. There is a whole team behind the scenes architecting every moment and making sure that you're blown away from the first step to the final departure. We know the best routes, the best hotels, the undiscovered restaurants, and the hidden treasures that really make a place unique. It will look effortless to you, and that's the point. Okay, a quick moment to test your knowledge of our brand new hiking and walking trips before we really dive into them. So go ahead and open your chat box. As a reminder, it's a little button that is on your black menu bar because we've got our first trivia question of the night. We have 2 trivia questions, I believe, in total. Here is our first one. Our question for you is, which of the below options are not a brand new hiking and walking destination of ours? Is it Cinque Terre, Italy, Portugal, Ireland, or Scotland? Or none of the above? Which of these is not one of our brand new hiking and walking trips? I see the answers coming in quick. A variety, not really a variety of answers. Pretty much everybody's in somewhat agreement. Awesome. All right, get that last answer in. The answer is E, none of the above, because all 4 of these trips are brand new Trek Travel hiking and walking destinations in 2024. We are so excited to tell you about these trips. When Hershey pops on in a couple of minutes, he's really going to dive deep into each of these 4 destinations. E, none of the above. Well done, everybody. So to help ensure that you choose the hiking and walking trip that is the best fit for you, we categorize our trips into 4 different activity levels. You can see them right here on the screen. And on our website, you can read more about each of these levels, including the average daily mileage and climbing, plus the average walking time, number of hours that you can expect for each activity level. And Hershey, if you have a second, could you please drop a link in the chat box so that folks can check out more details about the activity levels? So a couple more quick things before we dive in. Here's a look at what's included on your hiking and walking trip. There's hotel, 2 guides. Y'all, you are not going to go hungry nor thirsty on your trek travel trip, not on the path, not off the path. We include all sorts of food and beverages, local cuisine, so that you really get a great sample of the place where you're traveling to. We also take care of transporting you and your things during the trip, and the costs of various cultural activities like a whiskey tasting in Scotland, for example, are also included in your trip price. Plus, you can use our backpacks and hiking poles if you like, though we do recommend that you bring your own if you've got some experience with your own equipment. And we will provide you with a Trek Travel water bottle and a tech t-shirt for keeps. So get excited about that. And here's a quick look at what is not included. So you'll be responsible for arrangements, getting yourself to and from the trip. We do have a fantastic travel service provider named Santa Barbara Travel Bureau, and we can help connect you with them if you'd like assistance with transportation. Some meals are not included. We don't eat as a group for every single meal, but we can provide you with great recommendations on those free choice meal days. And finally, gratuity for your guides is not included and is much appreciated. So before we dive in, I know I keep teasing, we're going to get to the trip spotlights in just a second, but we've got one more trivia question before we get there. So grab that chat box again, because our question is, where is the location of this beautiful photo? Is it Costa Brava? Is it Portugal, California, or Croatia? Where do you think this is? And as answers are coming in, I just want to mention, if you're really not sure about what trip is right for you, even after we go through some details tonight, we do have a really handy tool on our website called Find a Trip. It'll dish out recommendations based on the different sorting preferences that you input and really help you find a trip that is a great fit. Okay, I think we've got all of our answers in, and the answer is B, this is Portugal. And at this point, by the way, after adding a Portugal hiking and walking tour, we have a ton of different trips in Portugal. We have a classic guided cycling tour. We also have a ride camp and now a hiking and walking trip. So obviously, it is an amazing place to go, no matter how you choose to go. Portugal. All right, now we are climbing up to the point that you've all been waiting for, the portion of this event where we dive into our 4 brand new hiking and walking trips. And don't forget, if you love what you learned about tonight, we're excited to offer you $250 off your first hiking trip or your first cycling trip with us. Now, I am thrilled to pass the torch to veteran guide Hershey. He's been a guide for over 19 years with us. And in off season, you can find him being a snowboard instructor in Aspen. I can think of no person more qualified nor more excited to tell you about these amazing trips. I hope he's blushing by now, but I'm really excited to introduce you to Hershey. Hey, Hershey.
Hey, Amber, thank you so much for the introduction, and it's great to be here with you and everyone tonight. So thank you so much. We have some awesome new trips, and I'm really excited to share these trips with you. And we begin with a very special place. Our first hiking adventure tonight, we take you to the unforgettable Ligurian coast, from the colorful bay of Porto Venera to the iconic fishing villages of Cinque Terre and the surrounding Santa Margaritas. You'll get to witness the dramatic cliffs overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. They are painted villages, a spectrum of hues. There are gourmet meals on these trips, and all within the backdrop of the famed Cinque Terre region. Now, this trip is rated a level 3 trip, and Amber kind of shows you those levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we have. This is a level 3 trip, and what that means is you can expect about 3 to 5 hours of hiking per day. The terrain is somewhat hilly. There are moderate to steep hills, some little punchy climbs and paths. You'll be on a mix of stairs or going over steep, rocky, or even sometimes sandy, uneven surfaces. You should also expect some prolonged climbs and also some prolonged descents. Now, on day one of your trip, you'll start off getting a feel for the week and what to expect. On day two, we dive right into the views of one of the world's most stunning vistas. You'll start the day, I would say my favorite way with a cappuccino. You'll have the backdrop of Porto Venera Harbor right behind you, the Palmeri Islands, and of course the Gulf of Poets. We'll take a guided tour through Porto Venera with a local guide, getting to visit the ancient San Pietro Church, which is sitting on the peninsula just on the edge, overlooking the coast. Next, you'll take on a scenic hike through the Campigili area. It's a village tucked into the folds of the hillside. Our path winds its way to Monte Soroli, where you'll have 1,200 1,200 sandstone step staircase. And I'll try to say that a few times fast for you all. But you'll get to ascend the staircase. And then tonight, we finish off dinner in town, which will be well deserved. And the food, because it's in Italy, you know it's incredible. Now, perched on the Italians' Riviera rugged cliffs, these five vibrant villages from a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they are all celebrated for their cultural significance, the stunning natural beauty in the area, and the steep terraces. There are ancient vineyards. They're all supported by dry stone walls, and they showcase the local commitment to tradition and craftsmanship. And you can see the vineyards in this slide. That's what we are looking at, are the vineyards which are terraced down. Now we'll explore the Manarola. It's a candy colored village as seen in this photo right here. The village is clinging dramatically to the steep slopes of the mountains. The hike goes alongside and goes through lemon groves. The path is vineyard line pathways, and then we'll make our way to the small little fishing communities of the Cinque Terre. But imagine yourself right here, kind of walking around the cliffside as you get to the Manarola, which is there in front of us. It's dramatic. You can actually smell as the waves are crashing. The seawater, and you might even get some mists on you. But from the sights and the sounds to the textures and the colors, it's one incredible hike. Now, after a nice walk, we take a dip in the crystal clear waters at Punta Chiapa. It's a little corner of paradise characterized by a sharp stretch of land, La Punta, or also known as the Point, that reaches the sea from the Portofino promontory. And with that little taste of Italy, and I'll say my favorite parts on Italy, besides the food, is the amazing coffee, the way of life, and the way that they really integrate the land, the sea, and everything together. So if you're looking for an Italian style of hiking, this trip will not disappoint. It'll definitely please. Now I'd like to say goodbye to Italy. Hello to another beautiful coast, and welcome to Portugal. And as Amber mentioned before, we have ride camps in Portugal. We have an awesome luxury cycling trip, and now we are really happy to share this incredible 6 day, 5 night hiking and walking trip. The adventure begins in the Alentejo region. It's celebrated for its exquisite wines, which typically you can only get there in the Alentejo region. And the cuisine, it's local, it's fresh, it's incredible. You get into the charm of the landscape while hiking along the famed Rota Vicente's rugged coast. We'll also venture through the enchanting port town of Lagos in the Algarve region. We'll explore remote beaches, and there's so many beautiful remote beaches. They don't have names to them. There's a lot of history in this area, And we'll do some of this with local experts that literally will bring things to life before your eyes. Now, this trip, unlike Cinque Terre, this is rated a level 2 trip. And what that means is you can expect anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of hiking per day. The rolling terrain is mostly gentle slopes on relatively smooth paths. You can also expect some moderate hills with the potential for occasional uneven, rocky, or sandy surfaces. And I think the best way to describe this is if you look at this photo right here in front of you on the screen, you'll notice it's not necessarily smooth, and it's not flat. So it's definitely an uneven surface, but it's nice to hike on. There are also a few steep sections, but not like Cinque Terre. Now, on the first day of your incredible hiking adventure, you'll experience the untamed beauty of Portugal's coastline of the Fisherman's Trail. It's a historic path woven with stories and adventure, and it's where the sea's majesty really begins to unveil itself. And if you didn't notice just down, if you look at the very bottom of this slide, you'll see people hiking down, and this is part of the Fisherman's Trail. Now, after hiking along the historic way, we'll savor a well-deserved picnic in a serene nature alongside the stunning Pago de as Pias. It's nature area. It's an incredible um, off the beaten path hiking trail that really brings in the natural landscape all around. And it's also a great point in the day for you to sit back and have an incredible trek travel picnic. Okay. At Herdad do Torlo, they are known for their authentic atmosphere and warm hospitality. Here you'll sip some Alentejo regional wines. It'll have a fun, informative tasting where you'll get to know like the bouquet of the wines, how are the legs on the wines. And after this incredible wine tasting, it's followed by a traditional meal served family style. You'll be able to savor true Portuguese flavors, dishes with handmade crafted flavors, and the ingredients are all sourced nearby, specifically from the sea. Before you say farewell to this spectacular region, we'll head west on a Jeep adventure, uncovering beaches that are so remote they have never been named. We'll also visit the town of Sagres. It's home to the iconic Fortaleza de Sagres and the famous Prince Harry the Navigator. So if you were looking for something that's a little bit easier hiking than Cinque Terre, definitely off the beaten path where you can explore by sea, go on a Jeep tour. This trip is definitely for you. Now we're going to head a little bit farther west. We say goodbye to Portugal and hello to Ireland. It's unparalleled. It's a hiking and walking adventure. And we will be exploring the west coast of Ireland. And we also have some bike tours here in Ireland too. But the hiking piece is definitely incredible. This trip is rated as a level 2 or 3 trip. It combines aspects of both of these levels. You can expect hiking from 2 to 5 hours per day on a varied types of terrain, some rolling, some gentle slopes, some moderate to steep hills, occasional uneven surfaces. Some might be rocky, some could be sandy. There are some stairs, there's some steep sections. So Ireland definitely has it all. If a language piece where you may not speak Portuguese or Italian, the Irish love to chat, and you'll definitely have a great time with no issues communicating with locals. Now, you'll step into the heart of Western Ireland's vibrant spirit, and Ireland definitely has a special place in my heart. The Cliffs of Moher, Ireland's iconic cliffs, soar 700 feet or 215 meters above the sea. They are simply, they're captivating and they're spectacular. Um, this area is also known, if you are a birder, they're a crucial nesting ground for seabirds, making them one of Ireland's premier bird breeding and bird watching sites. On day 2, If you didn't know this, Ireland actually has a series of islands right off the western coast, and we will make our way to the island of Inishmore. And Inishmore is the largest of the Aran Islands. It's incredible. It's about a 30 to 45-minute ferry ride over. You'll get to explore this enchanting island with a beautiful scenic height. We'll hopefully unveil some of the island's exquisite wildlife, like seals and various types of birds, but also there's an incredible block fort on the island. And there's people who live on the island year round. So the Aran Islands in Inishmore is an awesome experience. And in fact, I'll just say if you've never heard people speak Irish or Gaelic, the first time I did was here in the Aran Islands. And if you're a fan of Tolkien's, if you've read the books, not watched the movies, when the elves are talking in the books, it's kind of like what I picture them to sound like, the Irish language. It's pretty cool. Now, another highlight is day 5. We are on the ascents to the Dingle Peninsula. It is the highest peak, offering a rewarding challenge with stunning views of the Atlantic and the landscape below. The scenic slopes of Mount Brandon are what we will ascend. It's considered one of the most beautiful hiking routes in Ireland. And that's a sea that you can see in the far aspect of the slide here. Now, we say goodbye to Ireland, goodbye to whiskey, goodbye to the Irish, and now we go to another incredible place. And I'd like to finish off tonight where we step into the heart of Scotland and its majestic landscapes with our incredible hiking and walking tour here. This trip is rated as a level 2 trip, which means you can expect 2 to 4 hours of hiking per day, rolling terrain, mostly gentle slopes on relatively smooth paths. If you're curious what that smooth path looks like, you can see it here in the slide. You should also expect some moderate hills because we are in the Highlands of Scotland, with potential for occasional uneven, rocky or sandy surfaces. And as always, there could be some steep sections on the hike. Now, we begin your Scottish hiking adventure in the enchanting capital of Edinburgh, a city of UNESCO World Heritage renown for its remarkable historical and architectural significance. We'll hike up Arthur's Seat, as featured right here in the slide, and take in the 360-degree views not only of Edinburgh, but from this summit, the view is incredible all the way around. St. Andrews is located in the Fife region along Scotland's east coast. It's celebrated for its prestigious university and illustrious golf history. It captivates with breathtaking coastal views, the ruins of its ancient cathedral, and also have a vibrant atmosphere. If you are into golf, you know about St. Andrews and this whole area. Now, we'll head towards Blair Castle, which is situated in Blair Atoll. It's a historic gateway to the expansive Cairngorms National Park with its 700 years of history. The castle stands as a testament to Scotland's rich and vibrant past. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't share one of the main features here in Scotland, and we'll be treating you to a wee dram or two or three. And you'll get to enjoy the Blair Atoll Whiskey Distillery and the opportunity to savor one of Scotland's most famed spirits. Now, today's adventure leads us to the summit of Benvrackie. It's affectionately known as the Speckled Mountain from its Gaelic roots. Ben and Briaca, at the summit, your achievements will definitely be rewarded with the stunning panoramas of the Scottish Highlands. Now, with all these trips, we've hoped you have enjoyed learning about these amazing trips, and we can't wait to get you booked to have you come and join us on Trek Travel's newest features, our hiking and walking trips. And with that, Amber, I am going to hand it back over to you.
Cool. Thank you, Hershey. These trips look amazing. And Hershey, I don't know if I told you this, but I have totally got my eye on Ireland for mine and my husband's 10-year wedding anniversary this year.
I love that.
Right? I mean, like,
Ah,
what is more romantic than a pint of Guinness with Irish music in a pub? Although gelato on the Italian coast might give it a run for its money, I suppose.
yeah, to be honest, you can't go wrong with either. But when you think about live pub music, a Guinness, and they'll also bring you a little shot of whiskey next to it, it's not too bad. Although, I don't know, Cinque Terre, gelato, cappuccinos in the morning, and Italian wine, you can't go wrong.
I know we've got some thinking to do. We've got a little bit of time, but those are the top two for me so far.
Love it.
Well, Hershey, that was fantastic. Now, for those of you joining us, I want you to imagine you've just returned from your Trek travel, hiking, and walking tour. The trip was amazing. Every bite was perfection. The hotels felt warm and comfortable, like visiting a friend. Some of the hikes had your blood pumping and your lungs working overtime, but the view at the top was always worth it. Imagine you've got captivating stories to tell and unbelievable photos to show off. That's what it's going to be like coming home from a trek travel, hiking, and walking tour. And we cannot wait to create that experience for you. So if you're excited about the destinations we told you about tonight, here are a few more details about how you can snag your own spot on a trek travel, hiking, and walking tour this year. There goes. All right, you might have heard Trek Travel is rocking a brand new updated website. She is a beauty. Take a look right here. We've got more videos, we've got key information on our trip pages, travel dates, and so much more for you to check out. We hope you hop on and take a good look. And perhaps most importantly, we also include helpful details about each trip, including travel logistics to help you plan for your trip, getting to and from your destination. You can book your next travel trip online 24 hours a day, of course, or you can always give our expert trip consultants a call as well. We would love to answer your questions and help get you set up on the trip of a lifetime. And we hope that you had a great time tonight. We're almost at the end of our event. Perhaps you're still browsing the new website. If you are, under the resources tab at the top, you'll find a link to our events page. If you enjoyed tonight's event, we invite you to join us again. We host events every week and would love to have you back. We highlight different trips and provide insider information at every event. And after each event, we always send you a YouTube link so that you can watch the event recording back, or you can watch other events that we've done in the past as well. So here is a look at your next 4 action steps. Number 1, be on the lookout for an email from our team in the next couple of days with lots of great information to recap tonight's presentation, including that promo code that will get you $250 off a trip. Step number 2, take a visit to our brand new website and look at more trip photos of these awesome trips. Also, a reminder to play around with that Find a Trip tool. Use some different preferences, different sorting techniques to find exactly the right experience for you. Number 3, give us a call to get started with your booking. Many of our events, we're lucky enough to have one of our trip consultants, Tess, join us to answer any questions that you might have. So Tess or any other trip consultant are always happy to answer your phone calls, answer any questions you've got, and help you find your dream trip. And finally, last but definitely not least, get excited for your trip. This is the most fun action item of all. After you're booked, it's really fun to do a couple of walking trails around your neighborhood or in your region, maybe start getting ready for your trip, and just really get excited for that experience coming up. We cannot wait to show you the world, whether you choose 2 wheels or 2 hiking boots. We've got you covered, and we've got experiences of a lifetime ready and waiting for you. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. At this point, we're going to go ahead and segue into a Q&A. So go ahead and toss your remaining questions into the chat box, and we're going to go ahead and answer them now. And Hershey, what are you seeing in the chat box so far? Anything that's worth mentioning out loud?
Uh, so far, Tess and Megan have been answering all the great questions in there, from how many options of hiking are we going to have per day for folks. And some days we'll have, the short today's hike and an avid option for people to can singles go on the trip? Is there a single supplement? And that's based on what trip you do and what the cost would be for the single supplement, to when are great times to join us. So there's been some great questions in the chat box so far.
That's awesome. Hey, Hershey, I wanted to add on to that question. I think Debbie asked about, different levels in one tour. Debbie, maybe you were thinking that you and your travel companions are different sort of walking levels. So I think Taryn and Megan answered awesome information. There's different routes that you get to choose from each day. I think Taryn mentioned that you can always hop in the van at strategic points. I also wanted to add one thing that, maybe when you look at, wow, 8 miles of hiking and, 800 or 1,200 feet of climbing, that might seem daunting to think about doing in one day. But a quick reminder that it's broken up by a coffee stop in the morning and a lunch stop in the afternoon, and then maybe a whiskey tasting, or some other sort of activity in the afternoon as well. So you have all day, to really soak it in, explore, take your time, and really enjoy the scenery. So that's one thing that when I went on my first travel trip, I hadn't thought about that. The idea that you do all of that, you cover all of that distance over the course of a day with lots of stops.
Yeah.
Hershey, I also want to mention, I don't know if this has been asked yet, but we did not mention in our presentation, our hiking and walking trips have a capacity of 16 guests per trip, and there will be 2 guides per trip, in case that's something that folks were curious about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other question that our trip consultants have been receiving often for, when folks call in and they're asking questions about these new trips is, hiking, what sort of experience do I need to do? A lot of practice, or, have my hiking levels built up before I do a truck travel hiking and walking trip? And our answer is, it depends on the trip that you're booking. So our official recommendation is that if you are booking a level 1 or level 2 trip, which of what we presented tonight would be Portugal, Scotland, probably Ireland. Ireland's in the middle. Those 3 trips, we do recommend that you have, we say that there is no experience required. Is it a great idea to do a couple of, hikes leading up to the trip, especially on some dirt or some, rock paths? Of course. But our level 3 and level 4 trips, we do recommend that you have some experience in hiking terrain and routes that are similar in terms of challenge. And our Cinque Terre trip is a level 3 trip. So you'll just want to be comfortable climbing, descending some steep slopes on loose surfaces, just to make sure you're ready to go for your Cinque Terre adventure. And then look at each trip under more information to get some more details about what kind of terrain and, hilly or slopes, descents, etc., you can expect on each trip.
Yeah.
Cool.
There was a question in there, Amber, that Megan has just answered, and I think it's a great question on, will we be offering self-guided hiking tours? And not at this time. However, if you wish to do some hikes more on your own or add-on pieces, it's something that our guides can definitely assist with route information. But all of our trips as of now are fully guided trips.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Stay tuned, maybe in the future.
that's right.
Megan and her amazing team are constantly dreaming up fantastic new trips. It seems like every couple of months we've got just some mouth-watering new destination in a fantastic corner of the world. So you never know what our team is going to come up with. So, subscribe to our newsletter and you'll be first to know all those updates and cool new things that are coming.
Definitely, definitely. By the way, one of the hotels on the Ireland trip, Amber, just thinking about Cinque Terre or Ireland, is you stay in a castle. So,
I mean, that feels like it probably just closes the deal for me.
right? I mean, yeah. I think that I've stayed in a few castles in Ireland with guests, and it's an incredible experience. Irish hospitality, the food, it's great.
Amazing. I've been to Ireland and I went to the Cliffs of Moher, and it
Yeah.
just like the photos are jaw-dropping and they don't even like come close to doing it justice.
Um,
You just can't fathom that there is something that awe-inspiring in the real world, not just in the movies. It's amazing.
Hey,
it is.
Hershey, can you tell the story quickly? I think it was a cycling trip that you were guiding, but can you tell the story that you always tell? It was either Scotland or
Oh yeah,
Ireland.
yeah.
You know what
No,
story I'm talking about?
I do. It was Ireland, and we were getting to staying at our hotel, which was Ballynahinch Castle, and it was a day where it was just pouring down with rain, and we arrived to the castle, and I can't think of the gentleman's name right now. I think it was Tim, but he's like, Mr. Jonathan, welcome, welcome. Bring your group on into the bar here. And as we parked our bikes next to the side of the castle, like we're just drenched. And he's like, I stoked the fire for you all. Just come on in and get warm in front of the fire. And this fireplace in this castle, it was as big as a Trek travel van. It was massive. The fire was raging. He handed everybody wool blankets. He's like, go get warm. And while you're starting to warm, I'm making all hot toddies right now and I won't have anything for it, but you need to warm up. And so he gave everybody hot toddies. So here we are, all the guests. It's their first experience at this hotel. They are drenched, but everybody's happy because they have these massive wool blankets. We can all fit in front of the fireplace, and we're just getting warm with fresh hot toddies and the fire. And yeah, that is definitely the Irish way to do stuff. So the Irish hospitality does take great, great care of everybody.
I love that story. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Taryn.
I'm also always impressed with your Irish accent. It's impressive.
Yeah, once you drink enough whiskey and Guinness together, it helps. It gets
It
ingrained.
happens. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat box. But like we mentioned, we're going to go ahead and send you a follow-up email from tonight's event. It'll have a link to this event recording if you want to watch it back, if you want to send it to friends, family, neighbors, every single person you know, that would be fantastic. But you can watch it again if you'd like or share. In that email is also going to be a link for that promotional code, the $250 off your first hiking and walking trip or your first cycling trip. There's a link to sign up for our newsletter. There's all sorts of great nuggets in that email. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple of days. And we truly hope that we get the chance to host you on a hiking and walking tour. We're thrilled about these trips. We cannot wait to get out there and to host you and other guests on these amazing experiences. We take great pride in everything we do, and we know that these tours are going to live up to all of the other great work and the great experiences we already have created. So thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with Trek Travel. We so appreciate it and appreciate you. And we hope you have a great rest of your night. Hershey, will you close it down with, I can never pronounce it right, but you're fresh now, the Irish slancha, is that right?
Oh yeah, sláinte.
Slancheve, which means cheers,
Cheers.
correct?
Yeah, it's like cheers or to life.
To life.
So
There we go. Well, slancheve, everyone, and have a lovely rest of your evening. Thanks, everybody.
thank you. Have a good night.
Have a great night.